Saax Bradbury production of Disney's Tarzan. We are really thrilled to be able to put on this production. This marks the Saax Bradbury Players' first full-blown musical, and they have done an outstanding job. So let's give them a round of applause. If you are not familiar with the Saax Bradbury Players, it is an all-teen production, and it involves children from the ages of 13 to 19. I'm going to say that again, ages 13 to 19, who have directed this show, who has produced this show, who has went out and marketed this show, who is running our tech, who is doing backstage. Our band are all teenagers. Nice. And that's pretty powerful if you really think about it, because some of us directors as adults don't do so well. It is a very difficult job to take on. It is an enormous amount of pressure on a teen, and our volunteers handle it with as much professionalism, if not more, than some of us adults.
Well, getting started on this project, I knew from the beginning it was going to be a really difficult thing, but like a lot of fun, you know? It's when you put these group of teenagers together and you think, they're so talented, they're so great, they're going to do a great job, and then you're like, and they're teenagers, and they're going to be crazy, and they're going to be all over the place. But they pulled it together in the end, and they really, first couple rehearsals were like, let's calm down, but now they've all grown a lot from the beginning of this, and that's kind of the point of the Saax Bradbury program. I've been interested in doing it before, and I wanted to use my creativity and try to like really bring it out on stage and everything, but I didn't realize how much there was involved in directing. It's more than just the acting and the get everyone to be here and all that kind of thing. It's, you know, it's making sure that everything works together and making sure that, you know, each aspect is right on.
I think the director's job is to pick the best team, because you were our leader. I mean, really, you made sure everything was together, that we knew what we needed to be doing, and you were on our butts the whole time, making sure that we knew what we were doing.
For the beginning rehearsals, I was involved, but I was more involved with like the technical aspects of like, Brandon was working on a lot of music stuff and trying to get the harmonies to the perfect place, and I'd just be sitting there in some rehearsals like trying to set up a prop list, trying to set up costume stuff, staging. I had a stack of papers this big with stage directions on them of where I wanted everyone to go, with diagrams that probably only I could read. I learned that everyone has their own specific acting style, and you can tell one person to be more dramatic and put their hand out, and they'll immediately be like, I can be dramatic with my hand, and some people are movement-based, and some people are like, I have to think back to a time in my life when I had this emotion, and I have to draw from my past like that. And so there's different types of actors, and I learned that from Alan Berger. And then I loosely based my scheduling and like kind of where I wanted to be with everything around the Spamalot. The whole Spamalot scheduling, you know, because Keith Boyd's amazing. I pressed that a little. Keith Boyd is amazing. There you go. Okay. I'm sure it's heard. I came to the realization later on within it, I started getting more stressed because I was directing the way other people had directed, and I started realizing I need to pull from other directors, but also implement my own things. So I started doing like, you know, rate your performance on a scale of 1 to 10 kind of thing to kind of help them think, where are we and where do we need to be? I tried to do what we called sonic talks, because one night we just casually were talking, and I started asking them really like deep questions about their characters. We pulled from these questions that I would ask them, and they answer them honestly, and they would really just get more in touch with the character that they have. I mean, because I feel like my job as a director is not to tell them how to act and tell them what to do, when to do, like, where to be and like at what specific time, but their own characterization and their own movements and their mindset has to be their own.
To pull it out of them.
Exactly. I couldn't teach Caleb Swindell how to be Tarzan. Like, I couldn't be like, you have to do this at this moment, and it has to be natural, it has to be, you know,
you as an actor.
It has to be perfect. I mean, there were certain moments where you have to have them at a specific way, like, you know, cheat out. That's not natural for anyone, but everyone kind of got the hang of it. A lot of this would have been really difficult without the mentorship of Alan Berger, because he really helped guide us a lot of times when we thought we were on track, and we had to pull back a little bit and realize maybe we need to fix a couple of things.
My first thing that I ever choreographed, which I just was pulled into by Michael Krause and Zoe Chittick, was the first summer camp 3 years ago, and I had choreographed about 3 of the dances, and I was so nervous. I didn't know how it was going to be taken, and I had to write everything out, all the music, like every 3 seconds I would make sure I'd written on a piece of paper what each move was, and it was very exact. But after doing every summer camp and then helping assistant choreographer Dreamgirls and now doing this and a few other dance projects, I've come to understand that you just really have to listen to the music and the rhythm and have to think about what the show is, who the characters are, what they're wanting, the style, what time it takes place, and where it is. And for Tarzan, I had decided from the very beginning, even at rehearsals, I told them that the dancing was going to be an African jazz fusion because of how the music was and like where we were and where it takes place. Bring in a lot of that African style, being lower to the ground, keeping it very grounded and level, but then also adding in the jazz because it is musical theater, and that's what musical theater is based on. You know, the Fosse and the jazz. And
John didn't really just choreograph this either. Like he choreographed it, but he really helped them become these guerrilla characters and everything. He would have them, you know, try walking on, you know, the specific ways and try to do their character walks and try to make them really become the gorillas, which helped them in their acting too. So they took the music and then brought it into how their actual movements would be, so that it wasn't like, I'm going to do some guerrilla, tribal, low dancing, and then I'm going to just be like, oh, now I'm going to be back to a human for when I'm acting.
Even when you're just acting, you have to realize what you're doing when you're saying a specific line or where you're going. You have to have a purpose for doing something, and that's what my choreography is based on. Not everyone who does theater is a dancer, and I realize that, and I try to make sure that I fit the choreography to what everyone can do and step it up just a little more to push them so that they learn more and get more of an experience out of it. And I feel like that's why we've been so successful in this process, is because we have been pushing them with what they know and what we want them to know and taking it just a step further.
This was not an easy show.
No.
This was...
I think it's
Not
out of everyone's comfort zone.
Oh, yeah.
You know, music rhythmically set, having movement on it, and making sure everyone's safe especially, that was a big concern.
Michael, he designed this wonderful set, and he did a fantastic job. And I was skeptical at first because some of the stuff on here, it's like, it just kind of looks weird when you just are looking at it. It's under the lights, and it just looks perfect, and it just fits the theme so well.
You know, every production I do, I see it as another opportunity for experience. Tarzan's probably my 15th or 16th production over 3 or 4 years, actually. So it's been a long time, and I've realized over the years that it's more of my job to help the singers and actors learn what their parts are and also give them techniques as well. Because when I started out, I would just play the piano. I wouldn't really say anything. It's more of the quiet kind of person. When I went to college, you know, things changed for me a little bit. You know, I put more input in. I wanted to help the actors, and it really changed my whole perspective and what a music director is. You know, it's more than just leading the band. It's about helping the actors with their vocal technique.
Brandon's definitely the most animated conductor I've ever seen, though. He gets so into it when he gets up there. He's just plucking away on the piano.
Well, he gets his shoulders into it.
Like, getting everyone on tempo.
Well, yeah, there's sometimes, you know, I can't control myself, you know. This music specifically is my preferred area.
Forte.
It's forte. That's funny.
Mezzo.
It's
I definitely feel like people also came into this thinking it's gonna be a kid's show. It's gonna be like pipsqueak, kind of like a 30-minute kind of show. You know, like I understand where people come with that, but I really
like some of the junior shows that we
I mean, we have great junior shows, but
I mean, no, definitely.
Like, but put the poster out and we put all that stuff out. Like, we wanted people to know this is an adult show. Like, it's for kids. I mean, kids can enjoy it as well. But I mean,
anyone can enjoy it.
Anyone can. I don't want them to come in here and say that was an incredible teen show. I want them to just walk out and be like,
that was an incredible show.
That was the best thing I've ever seen, kind of thing. You know.
When I was watching the show, like some of the harmony parts that I was listening to, they were spot on. And the dancing, spot on, you know. I mean, like, they had to work on it, obviously, but they did it themselves and they worked on it. They put the time and effort into it. And, you know, especially with some of our actors, in the beginning, they were finding it really hard to get into character and find what it really was, what the character thought and who they were. But towards the end of this, like, especially when we had an audience, they came out of their shell and, like, shocked me.
I think it was really interesting too. As soon as we got the costumes on them too, like that was like a turning point for me personally. Seeing this show of like, you know, we had the set done for weeks. We had lights kind of set up a little bit, and then we got them all in their gorilla costumes, their Tarzan loincloths, and they just, I feel like that costuming is a huge part that I didn't realize was as huge as it is.
Yeah, it really surprised me music-wise that they were able to keep their harmony. They were just able to keep it right away. It's you know, I've never done a show where that's happened before. Well, and most of the shows I've done are older people. Yeah, they were able to keep it right away, and you know, we were able to get a lot more things done and really focus on technique, which, you know, and the biggest thing most shows never get to is the volume. You know, you can do a lot of things with volume, get louder, get softer, but most shows are just the same volume. The biggest thing was we got quicker to the technique.
First rehearsal, they were already getting down their harmony. They were nailing it first rehearsals, music-wise.
Yeah, this is not an easy show by any means.
And that was upsetting to me because I had scheduled a whole month of music rehearsals, and they were
getting it right away. We were like
2 weeks in. I'm just like, well, I guess we're done with music.
I guess I'm on the dance now.
I guess we should just open the show.
You know what I've just realized? One of the most important aspects of this program and how we've been able to put on this show and like run this program, you know, along with side the teens, because we're in a position higher than them, but we're still friends with most of them, and we are a cast. Like, we are part of the cast ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the most important thing with this production is the arts in the schools, because like he was saying earlier with the music, they wouldn't have been able to get those harmonies if they weren't taking chorus, and some of them are in show choir and band. You know, everyone in our band were teens as well.
Yeah.
Without those programs in our schools, we wouldn't have been able to put this on, because we would have been working more on fundamentals instead of actual technique in developing what they have already had. Everything coming together because everyone did their part, and then everything just fit together, kind of. You know, the things that had the rough edges, all of us just kind of helped smooth out and then made this perfect, you know, laid out puzzle.
I've had leadership skill before from working at the YMCA with kids and working, you know, with other people. I definitely learned a lot more about having executive control and being able to take input and kind of being able to say, I like it, I don't like it, I will think about it and we'll try it. It was theirs, but it was also mine. And I think it was
both.
Yeah, it was definitely a collaborative thing.
No matter at any age, how young you may be, you know, there's great talent there. You know, me, I consider this show my greatest achievement, because you know I consider, you know, music-wise, I was really made a lot of decisions, and you know, without any influence happening. First concerned at who I was going to find as team musicians, because you know, I don't know too many team musicians. As I've grown out of that, what they brought about is really, really great. So.
I would agree with Brandon on that this has been the highlight of my career as an actor, director, has been
the pinnacle.
The pinnacle.
Yes.
I hope it's not a peaking though.
I just want to say that I said this almost every night. You guys are the best cast I've ever worked with, and that you guys are all amazing and all talented and wonderful and just incredible. And you guys have grown so much from the beginning of this experience to now, and even throughout the shows, you have improved and improved and improved. My parents have seen every show, and they say it's gotten better every single time, and they're here with me tonight. Yay! So I want to thank each and every one of you for all your hard work, all your line memorization, and your dance remembering, and all that stuff. Thank you so much for working hard and really putting your talent on the stage and making it an absolutely incredible show. Thank you all for listening. Yeah.